I'll be the first to admit, I was not a huge fan of Olivia Wilde's Don't Worry Darling. I know, shocking. But I remember walking out of that film thinking Wilde was a director who just wasn't for me. Well, color me surprised when I saw the trailer for The Invite this year and couldn't wait to see it. Like, near Disclosure Day, Odyssey, Digger, and Dune Part 3 levels of anticipation coming from me. The trailer was not only one of the best edited and most inventive trailers I'd seen all year, but it also really looked like Wilde had tapped into something special. And having seen it, I really think she did. The Invite is the newest film from Olivia Wilde, and it's about Joe and Angela, a couple, played by Seth Rogen and Olivia Wilde, whose marriage is presumably not going too well. When the couple has their upstairs neighbors, Hawk and Pina, played by Edward Norton and Penelope Cruz, over for a dinner party, the night unfolds in a plethora of surprising and unexpected ways. One of the first things that's highlighted in the story, dynamics, and filmmaking is the incredibly thick tension present in nearly every scene. I'm a huge sucker for movies that really keep you on the edge of your seat, not just in a frightening or painstaking way, but movies that know how to balance tension in a way that makes that uncomfortability really enjoyable and cathartic at times. The Invite is a thoroughly anxious movie. From the second the very wonderful and inventive title sequence ends, there's a palpable apprehension and unease present in the home. Like I said, the movie does a great job of maintaining a really strong balance here, exerting that tension and letting loose just to bottle it back up and keep building at times. The movie is able to slow down and have bigger moments, without ever feeling like it sacrifices the real dramatic payoff and reveal that the film eventually builds to. The movie constantly makes you feel like there's something more, like it's building to a crescendo that you both dread and desperately anticipate. In many ways, Wilde was going for a similar feeling in Don't Worry Darling, but her insistence on one huge reveal that is masked until the third act makes the film feel lopsided and the twist unearned. The Invite feels much more evenly paced, and like it knows exactly how to dole out this information. Unlike Wilde's last film, Don't Worry Darling, which was written by Katie Silberman, who had collaborated on her with Booksmart, this film is written by Will McCormack and Rashida Jones. I was pretty blown away to see Rashida Jones' name pop up. I wasn't familiar with her talent as a writer, also having written Celeste and Jesse Forever, a movie I'm quite partial to. The screenplay is incredibly tight, and because of that, the movie builds, like I'm saying, without ever feeling like it's losing steam. Jones and McCormack clearly know when to cool things off for a bit, just to turn around and prod the fire again. It's really remarkable stuff. Another huge thing that helps is the incredible score by Devonte Hines, which is unsettling and also adrenalizes you. I found myself rising out of my seat when the score swelled more. In many ways, this film reminded me of The Drama earlier this year, which also had a score that was deceptively exciting at points and immensely anxiety-inducing at other points. There are these moments when what I believe is the violin or some sort of string instruments take charge, and it's truly one of the most invigorating and electrifying things I've heard in movies this entire year. Part of the reason that I believe the score is so unsettling as well, aside from the wonderful work done by Hines and crew, is how it's deployed. The music pops in at points, it accents the arguments and highlights the stress in the room. It makes those and the people feel as far apart as they are, while making each statement feel as impactful and grand as they should. It also makes the moments when the conversation and music simultaneously flow together so much better, and really is when the movie feels like it's singing best. Listening to the soundtrack on its own, I can really tell how it was crafted with this intention in mind. In general, this is one of the best ending jobs I've seen this year. This film has this really magnetic energy that you can't help but be won over by. You get this from the opening, which I mentioned includes one of the best opening credit sequences I've seen in quite some time. It really feels like that has become a bit of a lost art form, and while I understand why for dramatic reasons so many films choose not to be too excessive, I appreciate when a movie really goes all in on that though, and it's definitely one that's going to be sticking with me. Even just from the first scene that follows that, before the real meat of the movie begins, the tension present is an incredible table setter for what's to come in the rest of the movie. It's easy for a movie like this to become draining, or to eventually feel like it's taken too long to really justify whatever conclusion it finds itself at. But the movie never loses the grip it has on you, or at least it didn't for me. Part of this is how this thing flows, but also how the editing in film comes alive. There are plenty of sequences that hold on one shot, or allow a character to have the frame for a semi-extended bit, but there are an equal amount of sequences, if not more, that feel nearly as propulsive as watching something like Marty Supreme or One Battle last year did. There's a real artistry that comes with nailing a quick pace and aggressive edit, something that is so loudly in your face, and The Invite does that. The moments when the film is whipping through character reactions and popping music in and out of your ear made me physically rise in my seat, like I said. It's really a testament to the editing, screenplay, and basically every individual aspect of this movie that it all centers around one dinner party in an apartment and still finds itself as one of the most engaging and thrilling movies I've seen this year. It's quite remarkable just how captivating this movie is, if you ask me. The movie also looks really good, like really good. I haven't seen many films that have been shot by Adam Newport-Berra. It's only this movie and Blink Twice, a film I don't particularly remember loving or hating the visuals in, but the infight has a very clear visual style and mood it's going for, and I think it achieves it in a way that I wasn't expecting it to. The camera has these incredible subtle movements, protracting and zooming throughout the film. There's an emphasis on symmetry that never feels overdone or gimmicky, and it's actually quite additive to what the film is going for thematically. The way characters are divided when they are together or highlighted when they are alone, how wide angles and forced perspective are used to make some really incredible images and distance our characters throughout the movie. The film has a much more restrained and muted color palette without ever feeling bland or neutral, which is always really nice to see. It's not impossible to make a movie that is eye-catching while not popping with colors, but it seems Wilde and her crew are some of the only people today to recognize that. I cannot possibly go any longer without talking about the performances, as this is pretty much a screenplay and performance movie foremost, and thankfully, it has wonderful material in both those departments. Seth Rogen and Olivia Wilde begin and bookend this movie by themselves and play off each other really well throughout the entire film. Their dynamic feels so naturalistic, both in the inherent care they feel and the undeniable thorniness that has arisen between them. I have to admit that I felt shamefully quite called out by Rogen's character in this film, who is so delightfully snarky and sarcastic throughout the entire film. There are few sequences where Rogen isn't ripping someone or dropping a joke that should derail the scene, but instead actually adds to the growing anxiety and swelling tension. He's just on fire throughout the entire runtime. Seth Rogen also really makes you feel for Joe, in a way I wasn't expecting by the end. I was really interested in how the movie and Rogen would advocate for himself, and I think the way the scene is written, and even more importantly, performed, is really smart actually. He's also as funny as ever. This might be the best balance he struck between hitting those real dramatic beats and utilizing his undeniable comedic charm. Opposite him though is Olivia Wilde, also giving a dynamite performance. Even before you hear her speak, her frenetic energy and unhinged behavior can be felt just through how she carries herself in the role. As good as so many of Wilde's lines are in this film, of which she has a few really great ones, I can't stop thinking about her physicality in this movie, and how she just felt like a ball of energy ready to just start bouncing all over the room at any moment. Penelope Cruz is also quite hilarious in this film. It's hard to say much about it because it's once again a just incredibly naturalistic and authentic feeling performance that makes it, in a truly complimentary sense, feel like Cruz is just playing herself. I instantly bought who she was and what her character was about. The real surprise MVP and knock your socks off performance here is Edward Norton though, who just absolutely kills it every time he gets a moment in this movie. Norton has never fully been my guy, but when utilized right, I really believe he could be one of the best actors alive. It just feels like few people other than Wes Anderson have figured out how to use him. Well, Wilde clearly knows how. That soft and calm energy that he has always utilized so well is here again, and it's like the heat on it is turned up by just 10% or so, and he's really getting to go in that extra range. So many of his lines absolutely knocked me out. He really nails this character in a way I just wasn't expecting him to, and honestly, he might be my current pick for supporting actor. It's just that great of a performance. Something I can't say for certain, but would be more than willing to bet on, is how deeply personal this film feels for everyone involved, at least to an extent. Carson Runquist pointed out in his video, but it doesn't feel like a mistake that Wilde's follow-up to Don't Worry Darling, a film that was essentially overshadowed by the sex-based scandal surrounding the movie, was this film, a movie about sex and the drama around that. Wilde really gets to let loose here, both behind the camera and on it. And if there was anything I walked away from this movie feeling, it was that Olivia Wilde had firmly reestablished herself as someone the film world should care about. It's an odd comparison, especially considering this is Wilde's third film, but I was reminded of how I felt watching Synth, a movie that for Raimi was coming off of Multiverse of Madness and nearly a decade before, Oz the Great and Powerful. Sam felt like he loudly declared he was back, and in the way he knew best. While Wilde hasn't made a film like The Invite, and so this is less of a declaration of someone returning, it's a firm announcement of who she is and what she does best, and I found it to be one of my favorite watches of this year so far. That's about going to do it for this video though, so as always, thank you for watching. Please consider leaving a like and subscribing, follow me on Letterboxd and Substack, and go watch The Invite and let me know what you think.